Got it. Okay, who's the celebrity? I'll give you the introduction right after this.
I like the little...
Yeah, I think I might get a different one, though. I don't know. I kind of want to make my own. That one is just the stock one.
Yeah.
That one's just hey, Google, turn it down. That one is just the stock one. I think it'd be cool to make my own.
I think it would.
Or to have somebody make one.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who can play an instrument? Can you or...
Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron. Aaron plays piano.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah. Aaron went with us to Vegas. So we just got back from Vegas last night. What day is it? Is it Monday?
No, it's Tuesday. It's
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Vegas is weird, man.
It is.
So got back late last night. I have been back about less than 24 hours. But when I was in Vegas, I met a lot of these people. I met Limepiece Lex and a bunch of people, Tanks, Boss, people you don't know, but
are
yeah, I mean,
now
awesome
of the show.
Part of the show.
That is perfect.
Yeah, we did a little recap right before you got here and showed pictures and stuff like that. So
That's
it was so cool. But yeah, enough about me. I like to remind myself of like a little bit about that, just so I remember when I go back and watch them of like, hey, what was I doing? Gives me a little bit of an anchor point, you know?
Oh, well, we already know dementia started a while back, Brad. So we know you need these.
True.
And that's why we're here.
Thank you. And you're right. I want to document as much as possible. And okay, so I forgot to mention, today is February 9th, 2021. 7:39 p.m. We are not in the Daddy-O studio, the Dallas studio. We're in the Twitch house. We're in the Twitch house for the first time. If you look behind us, you can see bottles. And behind those bottles are pizza and wings. So we've been having some good time catching up. It's been a bit.
And it's been
a bit. Yeah. So this is Guy Mrnustik. I got it right. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Dang, man. I got it right. This is Guy Mrnustik, whose name is hard to spell and hard to say. But his first name's easy. It's just Guy.
Exactly.
That's easy. Hey, Guy.
That's what God basically knew how bad it was going to be. And then I was named after my dad's best friend too, so he got lucky. I mean, it could have been like, I don't know, think of a really hard name that most men don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
We just went there.
We're
gonna talk movies later.
So what's your title now?
So it's the technical director over Predictive Enterprises, aka Director of Digital Analytics Insights.
That's a really long business card.
It is. That's why I don't put my grad school or PPM or anything.
Well, how many jobs do you have right now?
I am back down to one. So I'm now full-time consultant at New Desic and teaching. Something had to give between 4 kids and 2 jobs, and a dog and 7 chickens.
7 chickens, man. The 7 chicken things. We didn't write that down the topic list, but we might have to get to that one. Okay, so your title now is something fancy,
yeah,
and I can't even remember what it is, but
yeah,
it's in the title. I mean, it's in the stream caption. But we met at IBM in 2016.
Yeah, I'm not good with you.
October.
Yep.
2016.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep. I know the date.
Yeah, October 2016. I remember that for a lot of reasons. Number one, it was the best vacation I ever had. So somebody asked me recently, I had to fill it out. What was the best vacation you ever had? And I thought about it, and I just decided it was summer 2016.
Yep.
That's it. That whole summer was a vacation.
Yep.
So that was a big deal. That was also the election year. So that was significant, right?
I didn't even realize
it was the election year. So my first month there, my first couple of weeks, we had the election. So that was pretty interesting.
Primaries even more so.
Yeah. So that was another reason why I remember it so clearly. So I came in as VP of Analytics for IBM Watson Health. You interviewed me.
Yep.
Tell me a little about that. What was that interview process like? Because I only know when I went in, I talked to you, and then I go home, and I don't know anything for a long time. Because IBM is really slow.
It is.
What happened?
Painful. So we had been tasked with finding our next VP of analytics, and we basically had 3 candidates given to the team itself. And so you had to talk to the managers and 2 or 3 of the employees and just kind of walk through the whole process. But they had already been whittled down to just 3. And so, or 4, but I think the 4th guy was so bad I couldn't even remember him. But it was only 3 or 4. And so basically we had to then walk them through the whole procedure, see what they're like, what did they tell us, how did we feel about it? So you were one of 3.
Yeah.
And you were the 3rd selection to get the job.
I knew it. Yeah. That's why it took so long.
Yeah.
That's why it took so long.
So I don't know if our voice wasn't really, the consideration wasn't taken into what we were saying versus who we would hire. I think the final vote, appropriately so, was going to be your direct boss. And so he sat us down. We had told him, I had rated Brad the highest. Keith actually had you at the highest, or he might have had the statistician, but I think we talked about it. And then there was Ted, who had picked the dude that we interviewed, and the entire time when he talked about like his managerial responsibilities, he kept saying, I did this, I built that, I was able to push this. And the feedback I got from other resources, he's a pusher, he looks like he really takes the bull by the horns. And my first statement was, there was no team around him. There was no other company. It was I. Yeah. I go, that's a clear signal that it's going to be rough. So then the next dude was a PhD in stats and had a heavy ML background. And
ML being?
Machine learning.
Okay.
And so he was more of a professor. Versus a leader, and I was like, if you guys want to go ML and actually understand how to do machine learning and actually understand the guts of it, then dude, the professor's the way to go. Yeah. And then you came in and we're just completely honest to a fault. The best summer ever. In front of the dude that's been getting his ass kicked for 2 years, thought I was going to get the role, and then I'm actually now interviewing the dudes that are getting my role, getting something I thought I was going to occur.
Yeah.
So Brad comes in and he just chills back and he's like, I was like, hey, just small, little, like this. How's your summer? Dude, this has been the greatest 6 months of my life. I took off work. You're sweating your ass off to make sure you pay for your 3 children. And I just took 6 months off and I came in for an interview, and he was my number 1 pick. He knew exactly what we needed at that point, which was a kick in the ass out of Excel into a BI environment, business intelligence. So there you go. Number 1. 6 months off. Fuck.
Aaron just gifted 5 subs, and of course the graphic doesn't work, meaning Aaron just donated $20 to you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that amazing? Hilarious. That's what Aaron does, man. Aaron is such a sender. That is funny. But so then they went to hire everybody else, and what happened? Why didn't?
So the first guy got in an argument, said he wanted more money.
Okay.
And where he basically
Yep.
all over again, same stop.
Yep.
But I'm glad they offered him first. And then the PhD wasn't willing to leave where he was teaching.
Okay.
He wanted to stay teaching. It was before remote college. So yeah. And so then by the luck of the draw, you just stayed in there. So
yeah, man, I was out. Good. Yeah. I was out house shopping. I was house shopping when I got the call from Ted, and he said that he just wanted to make sure I was okay using Cognos and not Tableau.
Yeah, of course I am.
Yeah, man. Why? I don't care.
Yeah.
What do I care?
Yeah.
I didn't know though. I didn't know.
I had no idea.
I had no idea. That's funny. So then I joined the team, and it's awesome. We had some awesome people.
Oh, we did. Right off the bat.
Man.
Right? They picked up the ball. They ran with it. We first had to spend 3 months in purgatory before we got our yes.
Yeah, for Tableau.
So.
Yeah, that was hard, but not as hard as it could have been.
Yeah, 3 months of having to convince why one product was better than the other, in order to them to see why it was so applicable to what we were doing.
Yeah,
is what it is. I mean, it still was. Dude, we got into the guts of Cognos. We got to see everything and know all the buttons.
But you set up some awesome stuff. All that stuff you set up with the permissions and the database structure and all that automation for that Python project you did.
Yeah, and that's when Python started getting heavily incorporated in anything I did. So yeah, we had a great team, and then we had you, and you didn't take 6 months off. And
I didn't do anything, man. I just basically do. So Aaron came over here a couple weekends ago, and that's what this whiteboard is for. And we had our very first event here. It was a party a couple weeks ago. And all I did was just hang out with Aaron and my other friend Quentin and just write stuff on the whiteboard and just dream of stuff. And then Aaron went over there and coded it and made it all reality. That's basically what the IBM days were like. So that's okay. I didn't actually do anything. I just hung out with you guys and gave you some ideas, and you did all the work. So thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome to make you shine.
Yeah, it was. But I tried. We tried to set you up. I took you to Cleveland. Cleveland to be like, hey man, this is the guy. This is the one you want.
This is the guy that's taking over.
This is the guy that's taking over for me. We went to Cleveland. Got to pet you in the nicest hotel.
It was.
Okay, well, we should back up.
It was the 2.5 stars that they promised you.
We should back up.
Yep.
We should back up. So let's fast. So we joined IBM. I joined IBM. You were there for a bit. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Then IBM do what IBM do, which is pink slip layoffs, right?
Yeah.
So I decide, hey, let's take one for. I'm gonna take one for the team, and you decide, hey, I'm gonna take one for the team too. Well, then you say, oh, maybe not. I'll go ahead and stay.
Right.
And I say, okay, if you're gonna stay, then you're the one who should take my job.
Right.
That was my recommendation to IBM.
Yep.
So we took you to Cleveland. I'm leaving, dude. I'm leaving. I'm bouncing.
Yeah.
I got places to go and stuff to do. I don't have time to wait. I got to introduce you now. We got a book. We got to go.
Yeah. 48-hour notice.
NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Who knew? There's no hotels.
Oh, dude, it's so great. Yeah, no hotels.
No hotels.
There's nothing.
We would have had to drive an hour.
Yes.
So instead, there is one hotel. There's one hotel. How is this hotel available? It's like, what does it say? It's the Luxury Inn. The Luxury Inn. For only $200 a night. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. How it was $200 a night. Now we know. Worst hotel ever? Was it worst hotel ever for you ever stayed in?
Other than the time I got bed bugs in Corpus Christi. But yes, it hit up to the point where I was nervous in the lobby saying, Brad, we need to go. We can find something. I'll rent an RV.
My nervousness started whenever our Uber driver dropped us off and said, did you guys know there was someone murdered here yesterday?
I forgot about that. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we walk into the lobby, a young couple got in fisticuffs in front of us. And I put that in a special place. Yeah.
Oh, so you were smart enough to go sweet talk somebody. What'd you do? You went and sweet talked somebody. What'd you do? How did you get out? Because you found a place just by you're turning on the guy Mrnustik charm.
I did, but I don't remember. I was like, hey, I'll come down. I'll see you. If you can do anything for me, I'll sleep in a cupboard, but I'll be there in 30 minutes. And it was probably with more of a Texan twang. And hey, honey, I'm just from Texas, and I you don't even want to know where I'm staying. And then I showed up, and the Midwestern in me came out and made magic.
You did it.
Yeah, I got it. That's all that mattered. In all honesty, I got I got to see Brad's room, and we went upstairs, and the bed is concaved. There's particulates all over the ground, right? And then we go to the window and open it, and he is looking right on the asphalt and over like a grainy roof. And you saw the other building, not even downtown Cleveland, which there's actually some really cool parts to it. So,
So aside from once you made it out of that, then it was fine. Because Cleveland itself is actually kind of cool, like they have the big ocean, quote unquote ocean.
Yeah.
It's cold. If it's not cold, it's pretty cool. They have some cool stuff there.
They had some cool stuff.
But we decided to go to the championship game.
Oh, yeah. You have to see LeBron play.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Oh, how much did we get those tickets for?
$150.
We didn't get to sit together though.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Oh my God, we gotta. Okay, I had to stop down for a second. Smoke and Smile. Sorry, I missed you earlier. Thank you so much for the gift subscription, and thank you so much for for your subscription, Aaron DevTech. So sorry, guys. Sorry, I missed that earlier. But yeah, so we went to the game, and there were nosebleed seats.
Yo, they were perfect.
They were perfect.
You could see.
Yeah.
It was almost better than being that center layer where then the board gets in the way.
Yeah.
Because if you remember this, I think it was about the second quarter, and LeBron, like, Cleveland is just hammering Golden State. LeBron bows up at the free throw line and then does his fake, his spin, and then the jam that the house I thought was going to explode. It was the coolest moment I'd ever seen. I know that was game 6 and that was the game they went on to lose, and we were very surprised. But it was completely on the fly. Brad Wheeler going, I want to go to the championship game. I'm going to go to NBA guy, go do it. Brad, there's a budget here with me, baby. My wife's not going to think this is funny. And you were like, dude, it's like $150, $200. How many times can you get to see you get to go see LeBron? So he goes and buys his ticket, and every about 30 minutes before the game, guy, you gonna get your ticket? And finally I was like, you know what? I think I can get forgiven for this, and bought the ticket, and it was a blast. That was crazy.
It was Kevin freaking Durant, man. I don't like Kevin Durant. I'm sorry.
He's with New Jersey now.
He's kind of a bitch.
I have to agree. I know he's a Texas boy, but
I wanted to like him. I liked him when he was in OKC.
Yeah.
I really pulled from when he was in Oklahoma, and then he started. I don't know, whatever. I could go off on that. I don't know. Yeah. He's just man. But anyways, he ruined my night that night. Maybe that's why, because I wanted to be there for when I saw a Game 6 comeback.
Yeah.
I just want to be part of history, always. So that was fun. So anyways, then IBM, it didn't work out.
Doesn't work out.
I leave. You leave.
I leave.
And then next I hear, you're a college professor.
I know.
What the heck, man? How does that work out? That's what I wanted to do.
It was random circumstances, and then it was Dan Crowley, who worked with us at IBM as well. So yeah, he had said, hey, SMU certificate program for data, AI, and business intelligence. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, business intelligence.
And so where was this through? What kind of...
It was through what is called 2U now, and they had bought Trilogy.
Okay.
So yeah.
And it was at what kind of campus? Where were you?
It was on SMU.
SMU
yeah,
campus.
It was on SMU, sponsored by SMU.
So you were teaching at a college campus, but there was a third-party course.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Like a commercial course.
Yeah, a commercial course, but has the name of SMU and is backed by SMU with all their faculty approving, the instructors, in essence, the teachers. So all the material goes through SMU, and then we have a sponsor. So ours was, hopefully I get it right, Professor Bibbin. And if I got it wrong, please forgive me. I can't remember it now. So, yeah.
And so you're teaching this college course, or this college on the college campus, and through a third-party commercial vendor. I'm curious now, if we wanted to do that, if we wanted to start up a BI course, could we?
Oh, no.
Is that something we could do? You know how to do it, right?
Yes.
You have the inside information,
All the
but maybe we
material.
should do that. Because between Amon and I, we've taught a number of Tableau courses, and of course you've taught a number of courses. You know how to do it, because I imagine it's not that cheap for the students, or is it? How affordable is it for the students?
$11,000.
$11,000 for how long? Is that for the
6
entire?
months.
It's for a 6-month program,
6 months.
and then you come out of it knowing what?
You have a certificate where it's basic Python, typical packages, pandas, sklearn, and then you'll learn a front end piece of it. So you're actually developing things in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you go to Tableau, which, if I remember right, I had you and Amon speak.
Yep. Yeah, it was so much fun. I met your students, and they were so nice.
Yeah.
And it seemed like your students were pretty diverse background, where most of them weren't very experienced, were they?
No, we had, people that had either come from COBOL and hadn't coded in 15 years to complete newbies, meaning they had a hard time in Excel.
They had a hard time in Excel.
Right.
And then what percentage of your students do you feel like after the 6 months could actually go and do something successful in a IT career?
With that broad a knowledge base that you have to learn in a really fast time, right? And it's really only 5% of the, on average 25 that I would take immediately right out the door.
Yeah.
And then that other 60% that really does want to move forward with it is where they can come in as a pure analyst. You're not going to get a senior analyst or a data scientist. You just don't jump like that.
So 60% of the people who come out of your class, if they wanted to go get an entry-level job, that would pay about what?
I don't know. When I started, it was like 35, but I know it's closer to 60, I would guess.
So call it 50.
Right.
So they could go get a $50,000 job like that, which is amazing. Because if you think about it, if you think about teachers.
Right.
I know teachers who have been teaching for 15, 20 years,
right,
making the same amount. And if you think about it in an IT career, you may start out making a little bit less or maybe a little bit more, but it's going to be about the same. No, you're not going to have the immediate jump. But the difference is in 5 to 10 years, you will be significantly different.
Yes.
Than if you were a teacher.
Exactly.
And I'd tell people because all they do is, never mind. But one thing it's like you want to offer people advice whenever they want to know how to go with the path to changes. And 11,000 seems like a lot, but when you compare that to college, oh my gosh, that's pretty affordable. And
I've hired directly from the system and had other instructors. So Dan, he's hired 2 or 3 right out of class. So where I'm at, which is called New Desic, I hired one of my students right out because and it really wasn't his coding ability, it was his hard work. Mm-hmm. Like he would put his nose right to the grindstone because he couldn't understand writing a store procedure, or anything else that I'm not going to do, abbreviations. So he was a hard worker. Right. It wasn't that he knew how to code. Exactly. You don't know in 6 months. Nobody knows. It's just, can you solve a problem is the deal. Right. And then the other 5 to 10% that you said you could tell, like what kind of salary do they start at? Typically 100. 100,000 for your top students after an $11,000 degree. 10%. Right. Yeah, of course, which is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. That's awesome. What did you learn? Like, did you like being an instructor? Because I think I want to do that someday. I think it'd be really fun. Oh, it's a joy. Yeah. Like to see somebody actually progress through the steps and see somebody that just perseveres. Like my last class I taught. So I ended up having 5 students on the first day walk up to me either close to tears, in tears, or saying there's no way we can ever do this. I will never gonna be, I cannot keep up with the pace that you have to teach us at. So those 5 students graduated and they gave one of the best ML UI, so machine learning with a front end, right? Mm-hmm. UI. So a user interface. Mm-hmm. So, and blew me away. All 5 of them told me they wanted to quit. And I was like, it's going to suck. But it's going to be the awesome kind of suck where you're just going to be challenged, because if you're not challenged, you're not growing. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to teach, it's awesome.
Super cool. So what was your high school and college? Because you went to a private school, right? So you went to where?
I did. I went to Dallas Jesuit College Prep here in Dallas, obviously.
Sounds fancy.
Extremely fancy. They let ruffians in, including myself. So the president at the time called my dad to let him know, hey, are we in? Are we out? And I was in the top 99% for math. Go figure.
Top 1% or top 99%?
They said 99, because now when I tell you the other one, you don't get confused.
Okay.
So he asked my dad if English was my second language, because I got the bottom 1%.
That's what I thought you were saying.
And that's why I had to flip it, because English obviously is my second language. So, oops. But I got in Jesuit. One of if I were to tell you, hey, what every 5-year span, what do you really look back on? It was Jesuit. Brothers that I have there. There's 12 of us that still go out, 11 of us that were in my wedding, and they just taught me how to be a man for others. Like, it's not about me, serve whoever else. And that's kind of the philosophy we've gone since 96. Now, if you do ask about the 96 class, I was in 97, because our reputation, we might have been a little bit rough, but great school, great education. Was one of, it is my favorite memory. Some of my favorite memories. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you graduated in 96 and went where? Did you go to college?
I did. I went to a college in San Antonio and maybe had made some bad decisions and came out with a 1.4.
Wait, bottom 1% in math and a 1.4 GPA. I'm loving this guy, man.
Yeah.
Loving this.
Yeah. So I'm winning on all accounts. Go home. My father tells me he loves me, but I have 2 options if I can't get it together. And he goes, the one's the Army and the other is I'm going to just kick you out your door. And I was like, okay, well, and he goes, but I'll give you an opportunity. Get into North Texas by this fall, which is now only the summer program, with a 1.4. And I'm having to take 4 JUCO classes to get my average where you want to accept me.
Go
So yeah.
So you busted ass for the summer, got your GPA up on a junior college course. So you go from a 1.4 to a what?
I might have been at 2.0.
2.0, and that got you into the University of North Texas, which was in Denton, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you go to University of North Texas for, what are you, still a freshman?
No, I wasted so when I say 1.4, that was 2 semesters.
So your junior and senior year.
So
or did you have to start over?
No,
Your courses still count?
Only the ones that passed. But my GPA still counted. It didn't matter. That thing was my albatross at this point. And so I hang out with a lot of my Jesuit friends at their colleges, and I studied extremely. I still did graduate with a 3.25.
Whoa!
Which coming from
that's impressive.
That by itself
is super impressive,
especially because I suck at accounting. So I was a finance major.
Okay.
So no coding background, no IT background at all.
Why'd you pick finance?
I'll show humility. Because I thought somebody from North Texas could end up in a hedge fund in New York, but I've since learned that doesn't really work that way, especially with a student that has a 3.25.
You wanted to go to New York?
I want to go to New York. I either wanted to be on the stock floor or with a big hedge fund or a private equity firm, right? Like, major capital, investments, derivatives.
What made you want to do that?
I was the second kid that went to college in my family. And so my dad speaks Chinese and has an MD, and he said, you gotta go to college. And so I got 99 percentile in math and 1 percentile in English.
Why finance though?
Numbers. I've always been intrigued with
numbers.
Them. Yeah, it's always been a numbers thing.
Got it.
So finance, graduated in 2001, and I got an accounting job at TXU.
TXU, which is okay. And you're how old now?
20. So I'll never forget my first day at work. So I was 22 at the time.
Okay.
So my first day at work ever at a new job as an accountant was September 11th, 2001 in Dallas.
I remember that day too.
I think we all do. I mean, it was...
Yeah.
So I'm at work and I hadn't watched the news. This is before any of this.
Yeah.
Right. And so I drive up to work, or I ride the bus, and because now I'm doing the DART. It's cheap, it's fun, it's easy. I was like, I'm on the DART bus. So I got off my stop, walk into my first day, go up to my floor, which was 13 or 16. But anyway, sit down at my desk, call my mother on a hardline phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, I'm all grown up.
Yeah. Got a job.
I got a job. I'm out of the house, and I was above the 35,000 average.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And my mom yells at me, "Get your ass home right now." And I'm like, "What's going on?" And that's how I found out.
Oh my gosh.
Talking to my mother on my first day of work, trying to get some kudos from her. And it was all of a sudden, it panned me.
Nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing mattered at that point. Just get home, get safe. The DART bus came to pick me up, and I had zero cash on me. It was $1.25 back then. I think it was $1.25. I was like, I have zero cash. And that driver was like, "Get your ass on the bus and go sit down." And he was like, "I got nobody on here anyway. And on top of it, get your ass on the bus." And he drove off. It was awesome.
Wow.
So, I mean, you saw just the worst side of what was going on at the time. And then I just had a generous driver and just somebody that was like, "Dude, I'll take you home. Let's do it."
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was an accounting path and a finance path.
Wow. And then how did you end up at IBM?
Okay, so this story is even worse. This gets a little bit outlandish. So I leave. I go to a company that's called Accenture. It was great. It just doesn't challenge me enough. It was still very monotonous kind of accounting. So then I jumped to a company called D.R. Horton. This is in 06, 07.
It's a housing company.
Housing, the Walmart of home building.
Yep.
And so I'm actually there to be a teacher of their software implementation, which was don't know, don't care.
Right.
Can't remember, but yeah, I was there, and I looked at their books. Again, finance guy that now has IT access, and it wasn't anything malicious,
right?
But it was going to look at the reports that were running, and one of them was canceled futures on property. And normally it's only read in one or two regions, and it was read everywhere. And this is right before the crash, and I basically a month later said, "I'm done." I go, I'm not where I want to be career-wise. I'm now 27, 26, and I am I'm with a company that's about to implode. Yeah. So I turned in my notice. I proposed to my wife. I did. I had talked to her about it. And so, so I did leave my company and propose to my wife right afterwards. We had spoken about this.
Yeah.
And she was going to put me through grad school.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So, yeah.
How cool is that?
Dude. Saint.
Lucky man.
Saint.
Lucky man.
So yeah, and now I'll go really fast. Ready, set. So basically, grad school, so you remember I graduated in 01? Well, actually that was a recession at that point. I graduated in 08, and obviously D.R. Horton, it's a recession at that point. I'm married to a beautiful woman. I'm not earning anything as of that moment in my life. And I land another finance job at a company that's since been bought, doesn't matter, MedSynergies, and made great friends there. And then finance. Then I moved, so I had an MBA in finance, and I'm doing Excel and VBA. I'm learning Power Pivot, Power Query, which comes Power BI, but I'm a finance guy. So I do a reverse IPO with a company called USMD, and I sat in on the whole SEC process. And then I did like basic BI dashboards, accounting stuff. And then I actually broke into writing some of my first statistical linear regression models doing, I was buying practices. So I was in the M&A for that arm. So now I'm starting to get into, in essence, building an application. Now it is in Excel.
Right.
With VBA.
Right.
VBA sucks. So I'm starting to touch upon that point, and I knew it was time to leave that position, and I got hired by Phitel Next. Yep. And that's where, SQL skills exploded, Tableau, Python. It was just a plethora of things. So
yep.
From zero experience, Excel, VBA, SQL.
And how many years from when you quit your job to decide to go to grad school to when I met you?
That was going on, it was 16, I got there in 14, 7 years.
Wow, that's a huge, so you were already, what was your title then?
I was
you were a manager or director? You were director.
Director, yeah.
That's super impressive, man.
1.4.
Super impressive. And then then all of a sudden I join and we start playing pickleball at lunch.
Yeah.
We played basketball.
Yeah.
We played volleyball, and Bablu hurt his knee. How did Bablu hurt his knee?
So I think Bablu was making his famous crossover.
Took 2 dribbles.
Yeah.
2 dribbles and down he goes.
And then he took 1 step and his knee went out, and let's just say it wasn't a loss in the game.
What about you would always run with the guy? That had to be the best team you've worked with, right?
Oh, by far. Yeah.
Because we had such good camaraderie. If you think about all the fun things that we did.
Yeah.
The running, the volleyball playing. You played in a volleyball tournament with me and Brianna. We took a day off of work and went and played in the volleyball tournament.
Oh, it was great.
That was so much fun.
So windy.
Oh, man. But you've always been really athletic. Like, you've done Ironman, right?
I did. So when that's how I met my wife. I met her on a bike. I'd asked a buddy who is that, make sure she's in my swim class, because I was a coach back then, and he persuaded her to take a class even though she didn't really need it. There's a couple tweaks, but nothing big. But that's how we met, fell in love, and during that whole time we started with sprints, because I hate to tell you, most people that, even if they're athletic, just don't go do 2.4 or 114, 26.2. You just don't do it. You got to start somewhere. So It was a sprint. So we started sprints. We were doing Olympics. Then they talked me into a half. I'm not a long distance person, by the way. And then my wife talked me into doing Louisville. It was unreal. So yeah, kind of all around the world between jobs, career start, like how I got from here to where I am now, and then wife, 4 kids.
4 kids and chickens. You had a lot. Let's hear about all the life forms living in your household.
Yes.
How big is your house, dude? Is it a fucking castle?
No. It's normal.
It is too. I've been to your house. It's a castle. You have a gym. You have like your entire upstairs is nothing but workout stuff.
Again, at one point I did.
You have a rock climbing wall in your house.
That's to make sure that the kids have balance. That's, it's teaching them basic, motor movements.
Let's hear let's hear about your family and all that. Yeah.
Okay. So, despite what, I have a great house. So I have 4 kids aged from 3 to 10 now. I'm spaced in roughly 2-year increments. I have my beautiful wife, who, thank God, she stayed with me during this period. And then we have a brand new puppy named Belle, who is awesome. She's a golden doodle, and maybe one of the funniest things I have. And then I have 5 chickens from the summer, and then my son bought 2 more chickens. So we have 2 chicks, 5 chickens, a dog, 4 kids, and a beautiful wife and me.
And you do all kinds of really fun stuff at your house. I'm just messing with you about the castle thing, but you have a lot of cool stuff there. I went there. You've got a basketball court. You've got the rock climbing thing is real. You built that. Mm-hmm. You've got, tell me, what all you have? You got so much fun stuff.
Okay, so it's big. The land is why we bought it. Have, an acre of land. So we built a rock climbing wall inside. Yes, the land is more important, but we have a rock climbing wall inside. The reason why is then outside, my dad and I actually put up a ninja course on it. So, everybody needs to know how to do the slalom ladder. It's just important at the age of 5. And so then they have the handholds and all that fun stuff. Then they have the big trampoline so that they can bounce their energy out. We have now a girls' playhouse, and then we have the chickens over there, which, by the way, if you have a brand new puppy and 5 chickens, that's...
What kind of puppy?
The golden doodle. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, she is, let's just say the chickens are not safe. So yeah, it's fun.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. So work from home for you is what? Is it hectic?
Yeah, I mean there is some screaming and some and the dog and just normal life.
Have you ever considered building an outside office or getting a RV to work out of?
Oh yeah. Well, if I have an RV, I'm not working out of it. I would be traveling and putting a good Wi-Fi signal in it and being...
Sounds like you can do both. Work out on the road. Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
So yes, if you want me to have an RV office in a heartbeat, because just traveling around the U.S. and...
I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it. I thought about it before, but now, like in this past 30 seconds, I'm seriously thinking about it. It sounds amazing.
Go get an old Airstream. Think about it. You could. You rip out the back section, right? That's the studio. And then the front section, you have, your small bed. And make sure you put one of those Wi-Fi routers on there, because the guy I hired from my class has a router on his, and he went out to the boondocks and was able to pick up off his cell phone.
Sounds like you could probably help me with this project. What kind of skills do you have? You sound like you have ninja skills, nunchuck skills.
Yeah, no nunchuck skills.
No, but
did not ever tell you that story.
I was doing no.
You never did?
No.
So now that you say nunchuck skills, right? Amon comes to get hired by us.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by him. Now, I always happen to do a little bit of... I don't actually do enough research, but I'll usually find out who a candidate is. Yeah. And so I look at his resume in front of me. Again, it is a 5-second scan. Don't let anybody lie to you.
Nope.
And then I went on to his LinkedIn, because I usually like to tie things out. Finance. Yep. So I go on there and I'm reading about him, and I'm seeing exactly he's a master at what he does. Except on his skills under his LinkedIn profile, it said nunchuck skills.
No, that's amazing. Did you ask about it in the interview? You had to.
Oh, I think it was it had to be the interview. And he was like, dude, this is before LinkedIn locked down people that could assign you skills versus you picking your skills. And so his buddy put nunchuck skills, And I'm like, are you Napoleon Dynamite? And he,
I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a mess.
I love it. Okay, well, I'm seriously considering this whole RV thing. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, I
don't know how much they are. They're probably expensive though.
Oh, the Airstream?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 110.
Oh man, I
That's
get
for
cheaper than that though, right? Is that used or new?
I think that's used, like old used. I don't know how much. Airstreams are
I have to get something else
expensive.
Then. I don't know. I can't do that.
You don't want to drive a bus.
I don't want to ride a bus. What's an Airstream? Like I know what they are, but like what makes it better than any other RV?
Supposedly the steel casing, how long they last. I mean, everything. It's not plastic just thrown together, right?
I bet I can get a Wienermobile for pretty cheap.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I've seen them. Because then they might.
I haven't seen a
cheap.
Wienermobile in at least 15 years.
I've seen them recently. They're amazing.
With Oscar Mayer Wiener written across it.
In Sarasota, Florida. There's one in Sarasota, Florida, which is where our office is. I see it there, several times. It parks at the hotel I go to. And I've seen the inside of them, and dude, it'd be amazing. Maybe I'll get a Wienermobile.
I'll definitely. If you do, I'll help you restore it.
Okay. All right. Now, what about personal stuff here? So, you're from Houston.
I'm originally from Houston. I have been a lifelong Stros fan since I got to see Nolan Ryan pitch in the Astrodome. And after that, favorite football team, Houston Oilers. There are no replacements. So
no Houston Texans for you?
No.
What about, do you have a Texas team? Are you the Cowboys fan, or do you have no team now?
I'll root for Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are, they're Texan at least.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, it's basically Cowboys. My son loves Mahomes. I was really impressed with Brady. So, but that's about it for football. Baseball's, boys play it. And the Astros just, they still won.
They're a powerhouse.
They still won. And if you ever really think about it, so you have the Houston Rockets, right?
Yeah.
And they won 2 championships, except they have an asterisk.
They had the asterisk because of Jordan.
Because Jordan was out, right?
Yep.
And now you have the Astros.
Yeah.
And they have an asterisk for their championship.
So
if you take the Astros and combine it with the Rockets, you have asterisks.
Love it.
So
Love it. That's great. We just clipped that. Which means it's like a 30-second thing. It's on the thing. So that's perfect. I never do that.
Doesn't matter. They still won.
Hey,
it counts,
dude. Right there with you.
Because I count the Rockets.
Of course. Why would you not?
Exactly.
If you're a fan of the team, why would you care?
And it's not your fault that the players don't.
Not my fault.
Nope.
I just work here.
And if you bang a can, if you look at the probability of each one of it and how much it helped it, yes, per game there is a very big skew, but actual help is debatable.
I think we had a question in here earlier about from Lex about being a consultant. So before we I want to talk to you about some of this personal stuff because I got to get into your movies and your book selection.
Okay.
But talk about, Lex says she was thinking about being a consultant and wants to know what that life is like.
That's a big question. One, it really does depend on the consulting company you go with. There are ones that are basic workshops, especially if you're a junior to senior level, where you're working close to 90 to 100 hours. But now that you don't have to travel, because you used to have to travel a ton with it, you're still supposed to bill, X amount of hours a month, and it's heavy. As far as a consultant, like now, it's great. We've been in Dallas. We're all Dallas.
No, I misread it. She said she used to work for one and said it was rough. And I think if you were to give your honest opinion, you would probably say it is pretty rough. Like the number of hours you have to work is pretty tough.
Yeah.
You think it's worth it, or?
It's a job. In these times, and what we had to even at our company, who was very giving and making sure their employees could be employed. At a certain point, we had to let 2 go. And so when I sit there, I know what it's like to be out of a job. I know what it's like to be in a recession, not have a job.
Yeah.
Have a newlywed, have a kid on the way. I mean, I knew what it was like. And so just to have a job. So the hours sometimes can be rough, but...
What advice would you give to people who are, younger? Like, we have a lot of people who watch, or we have a lot of kids who are live. I mean, not who are live, but who are around, and then we have a lot of younger adults. What advice would you give to people who are like starting off with their career?
Be persistent, and be honest, forthright. Honesty out of Brad. He told me it was the greatest 6 months of his life. That's honesty, right? And be forthright. Acknowledge the people around you and for others. I mean, those concepts of when you go into work, if you show those true, it's not how skilled you are, it's that you want to be there. You want to improve. And so if I was going to tell somebody that's early in their career, do what you love. Push the boundaries. Never accept people telling you that's how it has to be. Now, there is common courtesy in that, but always push. Yeah. Like if you ever go stale and you're learning or you're trying to grow, and it's not just in learning, it's people. Yeah. It's how you come across. And so, dude, right when you come out, figure out, love it, don't love it. And if you don't love it, drop it and figure out how to do what else you want. And then once you do it with everything you got. So.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. All right. So now to the controversial topics.
Okay.
Your favorite movie I find to be quite controversial. Let's hear it.
I don't see how a group of young boys who want to go for a pirate's treasure and have an entire adventure based out of that, how one of the greatest movies all time it is the Goonies. I mean,
Goonies.
The Truffle Shuffle.
What? How old were you when you saw that movie?
8, and probably every year since.
Okay, I get it. As an 8-year-old, that could be your favorite movie. As a 12-year-old, sure. As a 15-year-old, maybe. As a 42-year-old, come on, man.
Dude, if you were to tell me I got to take my best friends on an adventure and be chased by bad guys, and at the end of the day be saved by the octopus. Oh wait, the octopus got cut in the movie, which was great. There was an octopus scene at the boat that, if you watch the movie and you actually pay attention in detail, at the very end it said, Data's talking, and he goes, "And the giant octopus." And for years I was like, what is this? There's a giant octopus that got cut, but I've seen the full remade. That's why it makes it great. There's water slides. There's a big boat. There's One-Eyed Willie that's now set booby traps. If you can't love that.
Oh yeah, I don't know, because this is the first time I saw it was as an adult. So imagine seeing that movie for the first time as probably a 35-year-old. Do you think it was great for me? Or was it kind of like, this is kind of dumb?
I don't know. I think it would be hard.
It's hard.
I'm not going to lie.
When you're not watching it through a children's eyes and you don't have the nostalgia going for it, it's a little bit hard. It's like Napoleon Dynamite. I saw Napoleon Dynamite at the right age to love it. But if I were to watch it now, I'm not sure I would love it so much. Maybe I would.
And I think that is a fair point. I can't, debate your emotional stance towards Goonies. I can tell you it might be a poor decision and you need to rethink things. And that 35, it's never too old to be a kid.
Wait a minute. Is this the CEO as in the boss's CEO? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it if that's true. All right. I'll give it to you, man. I'll give it to you. I appreciate it. I love it. I just have to give you a hard time about it. Because when you told me that, I was expecting, I don't know, maybe a movie that was made in the last 20 years to be in there. I don't know, man.
Top Gun?
Jesus Christ.
Rad?
Rad?
You don't know Rad? Are you serious?
Rad?
about the BMX racing, and they have the dance scene with the BMX bikes.
Do you not take your kids to see movies?
No, we do. Crudes too. But the classics are still the Man with One Red Shoe.
Have you seen The Emperor's New Groove? Yeah, it's okay. I hadn't seen it either until very recently. I watched it in Vegas. It was good. What about any Quentin Tarantino movies?
Oh, of course.
What's your favorite Tarantino movie? Pulp Fiction's your favorite.
Yes.
Should have figured, man. The older the better with you.
I see how it is.
What about books? Books. Come on, give me some books.
Okay, so Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. I love it. Have you started Ready Player Two?
Yes, I've already finished it.
How is it? Not as good?
No, I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
There's a message in it.
I've only read the first chapter, and I like the idea of VR as they portrayed it, but that's as far as I got. I love the idea of seeing the world through someone else's eyes. It sounds incredible. But you're telling me it goes downhill after that?
It doesn't. It's not downhill. It's your perspective on how you see things. It's just a little too much interplay on, hey, I'm trying to push a semi-message. The overall storyline is great, but it doesn't have the intensity of one.
I see.
You remember how you're on the edge of your seat going, what game is he going to play next? Well, Ready Player 2, you already know that he's in VR. Now you just add the ability to transcend yourself.
Yeah.
Your code.
Okay, well, that's a bit disappointing, but I do remember when the movie came out.
Yeah.
Because I was working, and I looked around, and all of a sudden...
I had taken everybody with me.
Where is everybody? It's 2:00 in the afternoon, and everybody is gone. Keith is still there. Keith never leaves that place.
No,
I think Keith's there 20 hours a day.
He is.
Keith's here. Keith, where's everybody? Guy took him to the movies. What?
We had a $50 budget per person by IBM, and I had to make sure it was paid. It was close to the end of the year. Ready Player One was coming out, and if you're dedicated, you go all in.
I love it. Well, you know what? I'm not sure I do. I'm not sure I love it. I love the fact that you ask for forgiveness and not for permission.
Right.
That I love.
Yeah.
I wasn't so much in love with the fact that I had a phone call, I need some help, and I come outside and nobody's there. But I love it.
Yeah.
How was the movie compared to the book?
It was horrible. It was horrible.
They changed a lot.
Like the book.
They changed a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't have a racing game. Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah.
So.
What else do you read?
Favorite, there's two favorite books. When I tell people, hey, you want to jump into reading, get into reading. And I've been reading now since I was 15, but bottom 1%. So, how does he not know how to speak? Let's not talk about it. So my favorite two books, one is called Watchers.
Okay.
So it's a Dean Koontz book. It's about a golden retriever, or it was a lab, I can't remember. But basically it's just an intriguing story of a manipulation of DNA, right? Like we talk about CRISPR and all that stuff, but back then it was real sci-fi. Great book. And it's just a loyal book. And then there's another book called Jumper.
Yeah.
Jumper's movie sucks.
Yeah.
Nothing like the book.
Yeah.
But it's all about teleporting with just an image of where you were in your mind.
Oh, wow. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to write those down. So Watchers and Jumper?
Yeah.
Awesome. Who's Jumper by?
I can't remember right now. Steven. Yeah.
Watchers and Jumper. That sounds awesome. I always grew up reading fiction, and Stephen King. I love Stephen King. One of my favorite Stephen King books is one about the Kennedy assassination. It involves time travel. A guy tries to go back in time to stop it. It's really good. 11/22/64, whatever the date of the Kennedy assassination is awesome.
Yep.
I love time travel, and that one offers a really different perspective on it. But in the past couple of years, I've been doing some nonfiction, a little bit not on purpose, but just for whatever reason. And there's a book called Factfulness. Have I told you about this book?
I don't think so.
So it's called Factfulness, the 10 something why you're wrong about the world. Like it's basically all about it's all about the numbers.
Yes.
So all this basically tells you about all the facts that you think you know about the world are actually really super outdated.
Right.
We're basing our opinion on the world from data from 1960s and the 70s when it was looked different.
Right.
And we don't realize all the progress that's been made. It's great. So that's that one, and then the other one that I really love that's been actually I would say it's been life-changing. It was Matthew McConaughey's biography.
Green Lights.
Green Lights. Did you read it?
Yes.
I loved it. It was amazing.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you do the audiobook?
Yeah.
The audio, you had him read it to you? It's the best.
Yeah. I mean, you know. All right.
I love that story. I actually did a Green Lights reading on here.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, it's
so good.
I think it's, and it does. It does symbolize like how you should view things.
Mm-hmm.
He's just done it right the entire time.
Yep.
The peyote might have been a little bit of a bad idea.
You know, I didn't necessarily know about the wet dream part, man. Like, I didn't even know there was a wet dream. You could have just told me you had a dream. Like, there's some details that did, but I appreciate it. That's what makes it.
It makes it honest.
It's
him.
Yeah.
He's like, it is what it is. And all of a sudden he goes Southern. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, you're right. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, you know what? We hit all of our topics. Let me check our uptime. Let's see how long we went. Is there anything else that you think we missed? 1 hour and 7 minutes. Look at that. I said about an hour. An hour to hour and a half, somewhere around there. So, Lex, did we miss anything in chat as far as questions or anything? Or like, what do you have? What do you want to talk about? I've sat here and interviewed you for an hour. What about you?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
And it's a big bag.
Well, how long was your drive home, man?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. So it's 8:40. So let's say we get you out of here by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You'll be home by 10:30.
Yeah.
What time do you normally go to bed?
Usually by 12.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
Let's go for another hour.
I mean,
no, that's awesome. That's great. So, who should I have on? Who are some other people you think I should have on?
Crowley.
Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would play in my volleyball league. We'd have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. He started out as a sales guy and then jumped onto our team and got a master's in data science.
Keith would be really fun too.
Keith would be fun.
Could talk to us about he had long hair.
Yes.
He was a drummer.
He was a drummer in a band.
He's fascinating. And then Lewis, I'm going to have Lewis come out.
Oh, you are?
Yep. Lewis is going to come out. Who knew Lewis is super into all this?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just found out in Vegas. Aaron told me.
Of course.
And then let's see. Yeah, I think it's going to be super fun. And let's see. Let's go ahead and press this button here, and that'll have that going. So I think next week I'm going to have my old roommate from college.
Oh, that'd be cool.
My college roommate, he was also in a band and recorded an album with Steve Albini. You know Steve Albini?
Yeah.